exams are permitted to return to campus.
And today the world is observing Blackout Tuesday in light of George Floyd's death. These and so much more when we return.
We understand that you cannot come to the store and encourage you to stay at home. If you need assistance with bill payments, top-ups, or troubleshooting, we are here to help. Call us at 444-4444 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily, or visit our website at www.cctbvi.com. Click Top Up here or My CCT for top-up or bill payments. Social distancing with CCT.
Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. A terrific Tuesday that is. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Javon Wilson. Thank you so much for joining us for another great edition of 284 News. Viewers, before we jump into it, we just want to remind you guys that as of Sunday, Governor Jasper announced that we have another hour run added to our curfew, that is the softened curfew. So the curfew will now be in effect from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. Also, viewers, good news for the beach bums like myself. We are now permitted to use the beaches between the hours of 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily, which is more than enough time, I think, Ron,
I agree.
to indulge without socially gathering, of course. And additionally, we saw Cabinet approving the reopening of hotels, other accommodations, gyms, and other facilities, but they must be inspected and approved by the Social Distancing Task Force and certified by the Environmental Health Division. And people, for the persons with boats, I should say, I know this is a conversation we were going around for the last week or so. Persons are a little aggravated that they're not able to use their boats. That will be happening from June 3rd, that is tomorrow. But again, protocols are currently being revised by the relevant authorities to ensure that while, yes, we want to be out on the waters, we do not compromise, Ron, the safety of our borders. So a lot to go around, and I think a great start to our week, Ron.
Most definitely. Now, topping our newscast today, the BVI Red Cross and BVI Department of Disaster Management on yesterday, June 1st, 2020, signed a memorandum of understanding to define the areas of cooperation between the agencies, hence strengthening the disaster response. The MOU signing took place on the first day of the 2020 hurricane season at the BVI Red Cross headquarters. Director of the BVI Red Cross, Ms. Stacy Lloyd, said, and I quote, "The MOU signing is right on time as the entire territory prepares for the 2020 hurricane season. The MOU specifically relates to DDM's containerized satellite warehouses located in each district. The BVI Red Cross, as outlined in the MOU, will now have access to and allocated space within the warehouse for the storage of emergency supplies." Ms. Lloyd added the BVI Red Cross is continuing to work alongside the DDM to help individuals and communities enhance capacity to prepare for and deal with and recover from crisis. The MOU outlines the following objectives: to promote a spirit of cooperation and understanding in the execution of the territory's disaster management program, allow for the construction of concrete bases to mount the containerized satellite warehouses, and to allow for the storage of contingency stocks belonging to both the BVI Red Cross and DDM. The BVI Red Cross movement is a volunteer-based international humanitarian organization, and they've been operating in the BVI since 1956. Jovan, continued partnership as we progress to the hurricane season. This is something that we've been dreading. Many persons did not want to have the conversation, but we are here, and we're happy to see that a lot of our agencies are now coming together to make sure that measures are in place for our safety.
In full agreement with you, Rod. I know it's so important, especially at this time, like you said, key collaborations, key stakeholders coming together to ensure that we are in a state of readiness. This year, I think about 17 named storms, 8 of those projected to be major hurricanes. Indeed. So it's definitely not a case where we can be complacent. We have to be in a state of readiness. Viewers, moving right along, the Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Whitley, is currently devising a plan to reopen daycares and preschools within the territory. The announcement was made via a statement released on Sunday. Let's watch.
I am concerned about the vulnerability of our young children with the continued closure of daycare centers and preschools. We are aware that there are less than ideal arrangements being put in place at the moment. Therefore, I am encouraged that Cabinet, in its wisdom, has also decided that the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture and the Ministry of Health and Social Development should undertake further work to develop agreed protocols on safe distancing, hygiene, and monitoring to enable a decision to be made in respect of the reopening of daycare centers and preschools.
Now, while those protocols are being revised, the minister is now requesting that all daycares and preschools engage the Ministry of Education and Environmental Health to discuss health protocols that will support a quick reopening. Now, following the territory-wide closure, many private school owners encountered financial difficulties and have since been calling for the reopening of the schools. In acknowledgement, the minister said, quote, "These institutions have employees in limbo and financial obligations to fulfill. While the advice of our health officials has recommended that they remain closed, we cannot ignore the cries of those who look after our most precious resource, our children," he said. Minister Whitley also announced that senior students preparing to sit standardized examinations will be allowed to access school campuses very soon. Listen in.
Are falling behind. And therefore, Cabinet, in its wisdom, decided to allow a limited number of students with specific needs on campus. On Wednesday, the 27th of May 2020, Cabinet decided that a new public health COVID-19 Control and Suppression Measures Order 2020 will come into effect on the Tuesday, the 2nd of June 2020. The details are as follows. Access should be granted to students in senior grades who are preparing for and or sitting standardized exams or with special requirements, whether attending public, private, or church schools. Students should have access to classrooms on a staggered schedule to enable safe distancing protocols. Specific steps must be taken to ensure adequate social distancing and hygiene measures are adhered to, thus reducing the chances of disease transmission. Classroom equipment and tools, including desks, chairs, tables, and doors, must be properly disinfected between staggered sessions to reduce the chances of transmission among students and teachers. Schools should be inspected and certified by the Chief Environmental Health Officer.
So, Ron, big developments coming out of the Ministry of Education over the weekend. I know that government recently allocated $1 million to daycares in schools, churches included, but really to ease some of the financial strain that we were speaking about earlier. But we're seeing here that the minister is also duly concerned about the vulnerability of our children due to these school closures. As we see, he's pushing to reopen the daycares, the preschools in the safest manner. And we also hear the minister also acknowledging that even though we've been forced to transition to the virtual system, there's some difficulties, Ron. Not everyone is transitioning well. And in light of this, and especially for our senior students, they will be allowed to sit in classrooms soon enough. So in addition to that, viewers, within the minister's statement, he also said that the territory will see a territory-wide virtual graduation, and again, that is for all students, private and public schools, and also the CPEA exams, they would have been canceled. So a lot to digest again coming out from the Ministry of Education. And today just happens to be his birthday.
Happy birthday to the Honorable Dr. Natalia Wheatley, Minister of Education. Jovan, I appreciate his honesty and his candid nature in saying that, you know, the virtual system might not be working to its best for some persons. So we appreciate his honesty in that. And we're also seeing some first where he is putting it out there that virtual graduations will be happening. This is something that's been, you know, done regionally, just across in St. Thomas as well as in the United States of America. But we too will have to do it here. So excited and looking forward to the new challenges.
All right, in this new world order, viewers, still ahead, Anegada Express Ferry is now able to get us to Anegada and back. And also Nagico Insurances is urging residents to be very vigilant to this hurricane season. These and so much more when we return.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Eco? 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 Everyone is speaking about eco-friendly products. We wanted to take the time to introduce the Eco Island brand. Eco Island is a brand dedicated to providing you with a reliable and cost-effective solution. Eco-friendly products for your restaurant, hotel, bar, office, and home. With takeaway trays, bags, cups, paper straws, cutlery, and cleaners. For more information, follow us at Eco Island 100.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, moving along in our newscast, Anegada Express Ferry has introduced a new route between Anegada and Road Town. The multi-purpose 96-foot vessel, which promises to serve Anegada residents and advance the economy, can carry, get this, up to 100 passengers and 40 tons of cargo. Now, operations between Road Town, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, and onwards to Anegada, and of course returning to Road Town through Virgin Gorda, began today, June 2nd, 2020. The ferry will operate on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, with 2 round trips on each of the operation days. Anegada Express, which originally operated out of Trellis Bay with its 44-foot ferry, is a project that is very special to our 9th District Representative and Minister of Labor and Natural Resources, Honorable Vincent Whitley, who is very passionate about improving connections between the sister islands. We had the honor of speaking with him just today. Listen in.
It was indeed a pleasure being aboard Anegada Express today on its inaugural run from Road Town to Anegada, stopping in Virgin Gorda. The boat is very comfortable. There are 3 seating areas, bathrooms, air conditions, very, very comfortable. I'm so pleased to see this here as it brings Anegada, Virgin Gorda, and Tortola even closer. We now have service and connection between Road Town and Anegada 7 days a week. First time in many, many years. I want to thank the owners of Anegada Express for taking on this venture. I wish you every success. We thank you. We hope to support you. I'm asking everyone to support this venture to make it viable. Looking forward to going to Anegada more often, and also for seeing Anegadans coming to Virgin Gorda more often. We offer a lot of services on Virgin Gorda that I'm sure you will take advantage of. There were some folks this morning who stopped off in Virgin Gorda from Anegada. This is it's a game changer, like I said on my Facebook post yesterday. I'm really happy to see this development. All the very best to anyone. Anegada, we are connected and getting even more connected. 1 district, 2 islands. BVI love.
That was the Honorable Minister, Honorable Vincent Whitley. Now, Anegada Express is also making an effort to maintain passenger options if they wish to travel to the airport and travel to or from Anegada through Trellis Bay. Passengers will be able to continue with the Trellis Bay option through the Loose Mongoose Bar and Restaurant. They will be carried on a private shuttle from their dock to take customers from Trellis Bay, as well as to meet the Express on its way to Anegada through Virgin Gorda, and also collect returning Anegada passengers who are traveling on the Express to Trellis Bay. So with that, they can continue to have these options, as well as the ability to go directly to the airport if the need arises. Now, upon arrival at the Loose Mongoose shuttle, options to the airport will be available, or guests can choose to relax and wait in a comfortable atmosphere before they catch their flight. The vessel is bigger, stronger, safer, and able to operate safely through bad weather conditions and able to handle the rough seas better, which is sometimes experienced by the vessels on the crossing. So, Ron, we see here improved opportunities, improved connections between the sister islands. I know as it relates to that specifically, our options have been a little bit limited within the sister islands. We hear Honorable Wheatley really happy and optimistic about bridging the gap between those islands. So I think this is a great win, especially for the entrepreneur that is involved.
Of course, and you can hear the excitement in the Honorable Wheatley's voice. He, prior to taking office, was the sister Islands coordinator, so he definitely has a great understanding of the difficulties that some of our sister islands go through. So we're happy to see them have some relief. Continuing on, Nagico Insurance is encouraging the public to be vigilant this hurricane season and to implement precautionary measures, as experts have warned that this year will be an extremely active season, as we mentioned earlier, with at least 8 hurricanes predicted and 17 named storms. An average hurricane season usually has 6 hurricanes and 12 named storms. Researcher, scientist Phil Klotbach from the Department of Atmospheric Science of the Colorado State University said, and I quote, "In general, the consensus between seasonal hurricanes forecast this year is greater than it has been the past few years. The current Atlantic sea surface temperature setup is consistent with an active Atlantic hurricane season. The sea surface temperature is one of the ingredients that fuels hurricanes. The warmer the ocean, the more fuel available for these storms to tap into." Now, Ms. Shaquila Smith, Nagico's assistant manager in customer service, said, and I quote, "Hurricanes are severe weather systems that are very powerful and can cause great devastation. It is with this in mind that we would like to remind everyone of the value of preparation and the need to make sufficient time for it." Smith added, "We are urging home and business owners to contact us if they want to check the status and revisit the adequacy of their policies, or if they require insurance on additional coverage or their personal assets. Remember, disasters do not prepare, but you can. Hurricane season has officially begun yesterday, June 1st, and continues officially to November 30th. Now, the press release from Nagico Insurers also states, and I quote, "COVID-19 has already caused financial hardships. Please do not take any chances. Be prepared." Now, for more information, clients are asked to visit Nagico on Facebook and Instagram, or visit their website at nagico.com. Another insurance company we see, Jovan, coming to the forefront and encouraging persons to make sure that they are adequately prepared. We've seen how devastation can affect us. As in 2017, many persons had a lot of difficulties with their policies not being up to date or not having full coverage. So we want to encourage our viewers to really make sure that they are on top of their various policies, whether it is for residents or commercial space, as well as your personal items. Those too can be insured.
Definitely, and a very timely message too from Nagico Insurance. They're on post-Arma, like you said, we've seen a lot of persons really losing a lot due to the fact that they did not read into the fine print of their relevant contracts. A lot of persons too have had add-ons ever since as it relates to the reservation. So a very kind reminder, if you do, if you would have done those type of renovations, the time is now to check in with your relevant insurance companies to ensure that everything is covered.
Indeed.
Viewers?
Still ahead, TAG introduces anti-microbial protection for vehicles, and Blackout Tuesday observed by the international community. This is a story you don't want to miss. All this and more when 284 News returns.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. As we continue on the local scene, Tortola Auto Group, also known as TAG, has introduced an anti-microbial treatment to assist vehicle owners to minimize exposure to COVID-19. The treatment instantly defeats microbes and applies a durable anti-microbial barrier, the bonding agent adhered to surfaces to ensure vehicles are free and clear of microbes for up to 30 days. Mr. Gordon French, Senior Executive Marketing and Sales, said TAG is providing the specialized service to businesses and private vehicle owners. French said in a statement, and I quote, "We're hard at work identifying ways to continue helping businesses and individuals move forward during these challenging times. Transportation plays an important important part in the process as the Virgin Islands move to the next phase of the reopening process. Our treatment ensures that the vehicles we drive and share with our families, friends, and co-workers are safe. We're in this together, and we're going to come back even stronger. The treatment is designed for the use in vehicles, hospitals, office, daycare centers, and other areas. The products are approved by the United States Environmental Protection Agency and is therefore safe for human and environmental health. French further explained, our treatment removes both organic and inorganic odors from the air, carpets, upholstery, and surfaces. It leaves no residue, no harsh chemicals, and no odor, using a vapor dispenser to ensure the treatment particles are very evenly distributed. Interested individuals and companies can book now at 442-2600 or email service@tagbvi. Again, that number is 442-2600 or email them at service@tagbvi. Jovan, I think we get around daily and we don't understand how much bacteria our vehicles carry, and this is a very important treatment that we're seeing. This is not the first of its kind. We've seen it been launched recently, but it's very important that we consider the safety of transporting, especially those with kids, transporting to and from with our vehicles.
And certainly consider all the options that are on the table. I think this is especially important to see as another business repurposing and retooling to meet the new needs of this era that we're living in, that is COVID-19. And like you said, a car is, within a car, most times it's a shared space. Yeah. So it's very easy for the virus to spread in these type of spaces. So viewers, you are encouraged to reach out to Team Tag. And of course, hospitals, catering to
Daycares,
businesses as well. Yeah. I think this is a good goal for Team Tag. Viewers, we're moving along to our final story for today on a very sad note. The music industry giants are coming together today in solidarity with the Black community, of course, today, June 2nd, to observe Blackout Tuesday, days after George Floyd's death at the hands of police in Minneapolis. Now, major brands like Universal Music Group, Sony, Atlantic, and Capitol were just a few of the companies who are committed to halting business activity for the day. Other brands includes Capitol Music Group, Columbia Records, Def Jam, Elektra Music Group, Hitco, Interscope, Geffen, A&M, Island Records, Pulse Music Group, Reservoir, Republic Records, Virgin EMI, and Warner Records. Now, viewers, on Friday, an image began circulating on social media calling for the music industry to, quote, black out on Tuesday, along with the hashtag the show must be paused. The announcement of solidarity comes just a few days after nationwide protests. Now, viewers, for those of you who do not know, this follows the gruesome murder of 46-year-old George Floyd, who died after police officer Mr. Derek Chauvin kneeled on the back of his neck for more than 10 minutes while, get this, he was handcuffed. Now, if you missed it, let's just take a look at the video, and please understand that viewers' discretion is advised.
Ornella Frazier is filming from a different angle. Her footage shows that despite calls for medical help, Chauvin keeps Floyd pinned down for another 7 minutes. We can't see whether Koenig and Lane are still applying pressure.
What do you want? I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my dick. I can't breathe shit.
Bro, get up, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get up, get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole time, man. Get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
I can't.
In the two videos, Floyd can be heard telling officers that he can't breathe at least 16 times in less than 5 minutes.
I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe.
But Chauvin never takes his knee off of Floyd, even as his eyes close and he appears to go unconscious.
Look at him. Get off of him now. What is wrong with y'all? What the f? He got made. He got made.
According to medical and policing experts, these 4 police officers are committing a series of actions that violate policies and in this case turn fatal. They've kept Floyd lying face down, applying pressure for at least 5 minutes. This combined action is likely compressing his chest and making it impossible to breathe. Chauvin is pushing his knee into Floyd's neck, a move banned by most police departments.
Bro, he's not Move it.
No, did they fucking kill him, bro?
Minneapolis Police Department policy states an officer can only do this if someone is, quote, actively resisting. And even though the officers call for medical assistance, they take no action to treat Floyd on their own while waiting for the ambulance to arrive.
Certainly a
Tough to
gruesome
watch,
piece of evidence to look at. And, you know, and Ron, in these times, you know, one of the things we say when tragedy strikes is the fact that, you know, people are so quick to pull out their phones as opposed to assisting.
Yes.
But in a climate like that, how much can you assist in light of the fact that this has been happening for quite a number of years? And we are so thankful that 2 onlookers were able to capture this video, like you saw on camera. Viewers, Black people have been dying at the hands of police brutality for quite a number of years. So this is nothing new. For centuries, thousands of Black women, and specifically our Black men, have been killed by white officers with no type of restitution. We look at Sandra Bland, arrested for a minor traffic violation. Eventually, she was found hanging in her cell. Mr. Eric Garner choked to death by police officers. Garner repeated the words, "I can't breathe," 11 times before losing consciousness at the hands of police. Trayvon Martin, 17 years old, unarmed. He was walking back alone to his house from a nearby convenience store. Persons say he was there to grab a pack of Skittles when he was shot and killed by Mr. George Timuron because he was, according to him, he looked suspicious wearing a hoodie. Then Mr. Sean Bell, killed the day before his wedding at his bachelor party. 50 bullets, viewers, 50 bullets discharged by the police. How could he live? Mr. Amadou Diallo, how could we forget this one? This was back in 1999, hit 19 times by 41 shots fired by 4 officers who thought that this innocent man was reaching for a gun while he was simply just reaching for his wallet. Then most recently, we see Mr. Ahmaud Arbery. He was killed while jogging in a neighborhood, and now George Floyd, of course, murdered under the same officers, protected by this unjust system that we're growing so accustomed to. So you see, when you see the outrage, viewers, when you see the looting, when you see the cries for justice, you need to understand that this is nothing new to the world. This is an old wound, as a matter of fact. And racism, as we know it, is very systematic. And in America, for years, we've been seeing, especially the politicians, Ron, really fanning the fire as it relates to, and really widening the gap between Black and white people. Since George's death, many businesses, viewers, have taken to the forefront, expressing their support in the fight for justice. We here too at 284 Media have taken a very strong stance, CCT as well. So if these stories move you as much as they would have moved the rest of us, please join in sharing, educating, and uplifting the global Black community today, because I think enough is enough.
Is enough. Jovan, there have been some concerns regionally, persons throughout the Caribbean stating, you know, this is none of our business, why are we talking about it? Let me just say, as a U.S. citizen and someone who lived in California for almost 10 years, this could have easily been myself. It could have easily been a relative or anyone of our family members who are abroad, whether they're studying or living. So I want us to get away from that ignorant mindset. And I use the word ignorant just for a lack of knowledge in simply understanding that this is a global problem.
It is.
Now, we want to look over over in the U.S. VI, where Governor Albert Bryan has made a public appeal in his recent COVID-19 statement condemning the level of violence that has taken place in the United States Virgin Islands, and he was able to tie the two together, both in the U.S. and in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and really appeal to persons. When you live in a neighborhood in the Virgin Islands and you hear a myriad of gunshots just going through persons being at risk just being in their bed.
Yes.
It brings home the severity. So I want persons to understand, yes, it is our business because we have relatives, friends, and even if we didn't, it's still our concern because we are our brother's keepers. So I think this is very important for us to remember.
And it is a blatant attack against the Black race, which we happen to be
and
a part
kings,
of.
Us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Absolutely. And so, you know, please be as understanding as you can, even if you are not Black. Just understand as well that anything outside of the white race is considered black to white Americans. So we have to be very conscious of that. I really push the message of healing and love, but I think at this point people are just really tired.
Frustrated, absolutely.
And outraged over what's been happening for centuries. Viewers, we're out of time for today, but you can like us on Facebook. That is at 284 Media and 284 BVI on Instagram and Twitter, We're also available via our website, that is 284media.com. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. 284 Media. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.